This is Paul.
And this is Rabbi Doug.
Stay tuned
For Taped with Rabbi Doug next.
We're gonna see Rabbi Doug. We're gonna see Rabbi Doug. We're gonna see Rabbi Doug on your TV tonight.
But Daddy, I want to watch Monday Night Football.
Forget about Monday Night Football. There's no other thing we're going to watch on Monday but Rabbi Doug.
Yeah, Rabbi Doug on TV tonight. We're gonna see Rabbi Doug. Oh, everybody talk about Doug.
Welcome to Taped with Rabbi Doug. I am so glad to have with me today Haley LeRand. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Haley and I met, as those of you who are regular viewers of my show know, that I cover Beatlefest when it is in town, always. And over the years I've met a number of tremendous musicians and entertainers at the fest. And this year, at the last Beatlefest, I met Haley, and I was so thrilled to find out not only does she live in my neighborhood, but she plays a variety of different things and in a variety of different places live. And I invited her to be on the show because I think she's someone that you should all meet and hear. Haley is originally from Northwest Indiana. She's a singer-songwriter. She plays music of many different types, but she started at a very early age. She was trained as a classical pianist at first, and she was an accompanist already at 15 years old. And she sang in choirs, and she's done many things. And then later in her teenage years, she picked up the guitar, became very proficient, and she became a Joni Mitchell fan, played a lot of Joni Mitchell. She combined her love for writing with her music aptitude, and released her first album when she was only 17 years old. And she does a lot of things. She travels and plays. She's influenced by folk artists of the mid and late 60s and blues artists of the 1930s to 1950s. Besides playing in different places around the Chicago area and in northwestern Indiana, she also has just released a second album called Somewhere on Jupiter, and that came out this past May. She is now living in Rogers Park, and she's tremendous, and we want to welcome her to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, Haley LeRand.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to play a song called Your Blues by the Beatles. Underrated tune. Yes, I'm lonely, wanna die. Yes, I'm lonely, wanna die. If I ain't dead already, girl, you know the reason why. In the morning, wanna die. In the evening, wanna die. If I ain't dead already, girl, you know the reason why. My mother was of the sky, my father was of the earth. I am of the universe, and you know what it's worth. I'm lonely, wanna die. If I ain't dead already, girl, you know the reason why. The eagle picks my eye, the worm he licks my bones. Feel so suicidal, just like Dylan's Mr. Jones. I'm lonely, wanna die. If I ain't dead already, girl, you know the reason why. Black cloud crossed my mind, blue mist round my soul. feel so suicidal, even hate my rock and roll. I'm lonely, wanna die. If I ain't dead already, girl, you know the reason why.
Very nice, very nice. So we're here on Tape with Rabbi Doug. I'm here with Haley LeRand. Haley, so tell me about you growing up as a young girl. You were playing piano. What kind of music did you listen to, and when did you start really listening to music? Because I think about that myself. When did I start listening to music? Well, I remember there was a pop station, which was called a rock station back in those days, WDHF. In Chicago, that's no longer there, and then there, of course, that was the first FM station that I listened to, and then on AM, of course, there was WLS and WCFL, as everybody knows, and I guess I started really listening to music more like around 10, 11 years old, and getting into music more around 12, 13 years old. I remember the first album I won on the radio was Paul McCartney and Wings' Band on the Run. So you can imagine, What did you start listening to, and how old were you when you started listening to music on the radio?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I grew up with my mom, who solely listened to classical and sacred choral music. She was a singer in a Christian Presbyterian church. And I was only exposed to that up until I was probably 12 or 13. When I was 13, I found my stepfather's Rubber Soul CD of the Beatles. And that was my first introduction to the Beatles. And I casually listened to music when I was in middle school, when I was younger. Beatles, Jackson 5, Elvis, those were the CDs that were sort of lying around from my stepfather. And then when I was 15, I very seriously started listening to music, and the Beatles were my first foray into that. I got a record collection from a family friend, and it was just all over from there. I would go to the library, check out all the Led Zeppelin CDs. I did the rounds with all the 60s greats, but I seriously started listening to music when I was 15, and it started with the Beatles.
So interestingly enough, obviously, the Beatles were long gone by the time you were 15 as a band. What brought you into listening to music from below the years of your parents' ages? How did you start listening to older music and things like that, rather than music that was popular at the time of you growing up?
Yeah, you know, I that's a good question.
You're an old soul. You're an old soul.
They say that, but there's something to it, because I was not. You know, I had there were a few songs I liked that were popular, and I was never averse to them. I was never, you know, holier than thou at listening to my old Elvis CDs. I think I just gravitated towards that, and I'm not really sure why. When I was in 5th grade, I remember my biological father, who lived in California, sent me an Elvis CD in the mail, and I was plenty exposed to modern popular music through just having friends. But I picked the Elvis for some reason, and people didn't, you know, I was never made fun of for it or anything, but I just never thought much about it. I really didn't. You know, I don't know why I gravitated towards that, because it was not what my parents were playing, which is what a lot of people say. They say, I grew up hearing the Beatles. I didn't. I picked it up, I listened to it, and it resonated.
Very cool, very cool. Well, we want to hear something off your second album, if we could.
Sure, yeah.
Came out just recently. What is this song called, and what are we going to hear?
So the song is called Desert Song. It's about some travels I did in New Mexico.
Very cool. All right. Haley LeRand on tape.
They said you can't disappear and expect your problems not to turn up again. But I said, yes, I can. Yes, I can. someplace new. I'm guilty of it too, of it too. We all crave novelty, but instead we sit and we barely breathe, barely breathe, breathe. Man at the market in Santa Fe, he hesitated, offered me a place in the fields in the shade. Said your roots were like the soil here, maybe I should have stayed. I met a man at the front desk of the motel. He used to play the blues, put him under a spell. I asked him what he played and he said guitar. Had my favorite song tattooed on his arm, on his arm. We all crave novelty, but instead we sit and we barely breathe, barely breathe, breathe. I saw the sunrise from the other side. Like that desert moon, I was gone so soon. Oh, I fly, fly,
Very, very nice. Somewhere in Jupiter. Oh, how did you get the title of your album? The second one.
I was involved in an art and community space in Northwest Indiana, where I'm from, and it was in downtown Hammond, Indiana, which is sort of a
I was
rust
just there
belt.
last week.
You were? Okay, so you're familiar with it. It's a rust
Yeah.
belt type town. It's, downtown Hammond doesn't have too much going on these days, but there was a wonderful art gallery and community space, and the building at the time, in the 1950s and 60s, I believe, if I'm getting my dates correct, was called the Jupiter Building. It was, a mall of sorts. It was a destination for shopping, and ever since, it still had the Jupiter letters on the building, even though it had since been turned into like office spaces. But one of the office spaces was quite large, and a friend of mine rented it out and would have all sorts of artistic gatherings of sorts, and we called it Jupiter. It became where are you going this weekend? I'm going to Jupiter. I'm going to hang out at Jupiter. So my friend unfortunately passed away at a young age, and the name is sort of an homage to the name of his art space / the name of that building where I wrote a lot of these songs.
Very nice, very nice. How old were you when you started writing?
I wrote my first song when I was 16, and it was actually on piano because that was what I was most comfortable with. I'm a pianist more so than a guitarist, but yes, I was 16, and it was just Joni Mitchell spurred the desire to write.
Very cool,
music.
very cool. So what are we going to hear next?
So next I'll play another Beatles song.
Okay,
since that's
cool, cool. Our
sort of
connection to
how we
meeting at
met.
Beatles
So
Fest. Yeah.
this is "Hold Me Tight," a slowed down version.
Love the song. Hold Me Tight by the Beatles. This is Haley LeRand.
It feels alright now. Hold me tight. Tell me I'm the only one, and then I might never be the lonely one. So hold me tight tonight. night with you. It feels alright now. Hold me tight. Let me go on loving you tonight. Tonight. Making love to only you, so hold me tight tonight, tonight. It's you,
Wow, that was beautiful. That was great. You have such a nice voice. I mean, it's I don't know how to describe you. You carry your notes in such a smooth and sensual way that your voice goes. Did you take voice lessons, and how did you learn to sing as melodically as you do, which you do?
High school choir with Mr. Woods. He's not going to see this, but
And I know you sang in a chorus too. You also got hired to sing in chorus too.
Yeah.
You took music singing lessons with him.
So I didn't take singing lessons. My mom was a professional singer. I grew up, hearing her sing. She has a very lovely voice. But I was really serious about choral music in high school, and our choir was quite good. I'm thankful for that. I was in 3 choirs. I sang in my own church choir at the time, and then eventually got hired to sing in the choir, so it became a job. And I took voice lessons for maybe a year, but definitely being in a quality high school choir was a great experience, and we got a lot of vocal training through participation in that.
So you learned to sing harmonies and things like that in the choir too, right? That's something you have to do to sing in a choir.
Yeah. I noticed that when I was in middle school singing just for fun, my ability to just, even just harmonize on the fly was a lot different after I had graduated high school and had all that vocal training. So I really attribute it to just being in high school choir.
Very good, very good.
Musical theater. I did theater too, so that sort of delivery of soft, loud dynamics are important. You're performing. So.
Did you get solos in the choir too?
I did.
You did.
I was a soprano.
Very nice, very nice. So what's next? We want to hear some more from you while we're still here.
I'm going to do Born Under a Bad Sign by Albert King. I do a lot of blues songs.
Albert King, one of our favorite blues artists. This is Haley LeRand.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is in the style of Albert King. It was not written by him, but that's the inspiration.
I've been down since I began to crawl. don't like it all.
Wow. Great. Love it.
Thank you.
Gosh, time's just running by. I want to try to hear a couple more songs from
Sure.
you. What's your aspiration as an artist? Like, for example, what's your favorite place you've ever played live in front of people?
My favorite place I've ever played live is Jarvis Square Pottery in Chicago, which is a pottery shop / community space / music venue. I also live across the street from it.
Very cool. So you like playing close to home?
So the audience is extremely attentive and supportive, and the audience is what makes the venue.
So the person who told me to come and see you was Michelle Joni Lapidus, who is the
Oh,
daughter,
Oh, my
when I
gosh.
first at Beetlefest, the daughter of Mark Lapidus, who is the proprietor of the Beetlefest. He said, you gotta go hear Haley up on the stage.
That's nice
So
to hear.
that's how I found you to begin with, and it's good to know. I hope to come and see you live someplace
Thank you.
sometime soon,
Yeah.
and we hope to have you back on the show.
Absolutely.
We want to hear a couple more songs. What are you gonna play
Sure.
next?
Next, I will play another original song called Deaf Ears.
And is this off of your second album also?
Yes.
All right, we're off to Jupiter again. Haley LeRand on Taped.
I once knew a man who listened so intently everyone knocked on his door. If listening were an act of love, his love overflows like a wave pouring onto the shore. But then there's the fool who likes to hear himself talk. Afraid he won't be heard, he talks over everyone on the block. Talks about nothing, interrupts everything, talking to him, it's like feeling alone. When I pause mid-sentence, you know he jumps right in with eager resolutions. The listener, he understands, pauses aren't invitations. But he's the fool who likes to hear himself speak. I tell him my ideas and he finishes my sentences for me. He talks about nothing, interrupts everything, talking to him, it's like feeling alone. I shouldn't have to raise my voice to prove my point or to be heard by you. Volume doesn't make your words more valid, it doesn't make you seem more astute. But you're the fool who likes to hear yourself talk. Afraid you won't be heard, you talk over everyone on the block. Talk about nothing, interrupt everything, talking to you, it's like feeling alone. You talk about nothing, interrupt everything, talking to you, it's like feeling alone.
Great.
Thank you.
Well, I can't thank you enough for being on the show. I want to thank all of you for being with us. Remember, you can check out our website, www.tvrabbi.com, where you can also see former shows on the web. If you want to know more about Haley or her albums or anything about her music or where she's playing, email us at info@tvrabbi.com. I will forward it to her, and I know she'll get back to you personally with that information. Thanks so much for being on the show. Can we have you on again? Because we want to hear a lot more from you.
Yes, sounds good.
This is great, and come join us next year at Beetlefest, and come hear Haley Haley live also. What are you going to do for us in closing?
I'll finish with Dust My Broom by Elmore James.
Elmore James. So, you know,
Robert Johnson.
Yeah, Robert Johnson and Elmore James music, the two of them are probably John Lennon and George Harrison's most influential favorite artists. So that they're one of your most influential favorite artists is great. Stay with us. Hope to see you next time right here on Take with Rabbi Doug. Here she is once again, Haley LeRand.
I'll wake up soon in the morning. I believe I'll dust my broom. I'll wake up soon in the morning. I believe I'll dust my broom. I'll put the desk out and love it. Now my friends can get in my room. I'm gonna write a letter, telephone every town I know.
This has been a Taped with Rabbi Doug production.